Congratulations, you are done with my science part of study of the water. And the last part is pretty fast. It's about the social studies of the water around the world. So globally, we have global water challenge. One, increase of population, increase of the demands, and ever more need for drinking hygiene, sanitation. That's for the domestic water use. Food production mainly is for agricultural use and industry. So basically, we're asking for more water. And more droughts expected due to climate change. That's very unfortunate. But hopefully, you start to understand climate change from the view of the water. Like El Nino, La Nina events, right? And those ocean currents. Challenges to supply water without degrading the natural ecosystems that provide it. That would be the water pollution problem and how to make the water clean and how to use the water sustainably. How scarce can water be? It could be like this or even worse. In some area of the world, we even have wars fighting for water, and the water can be used as a weapon. It was prohibited now by international laws, but in some of the area of the world, people fighting for the water really hard. And this is Cape Town in South Africa. This is one example from our textbook. They're experiencing a 3-year drought, and the water capacity decreased to like 1/4 of the regional capacity. Oh my goodness. Which means each person have to cut off their water use 75%, so something like that. So these people just have limited amount of water to use every day. They waiting in the long lines, waiting to get their allocated water. And then they decide, what's amazing about these people is they decide to cut off their water use tremendously. So the national water supply do not have to be shut off. That's a part truly touching me. So overall, the water issues is one, we do not have enough water. Second is we have water-related diseases. A lot of people million deaths worldwide each year due to drinking of the unsafe water, dirty water. And those illnesses have been increasing over the past decade. And that caused tremendous economic loss. So 7 years ago, the areas of the world experiencing water stress looked like this. So the reddish color, pinkish color means those people are under the stress of water. And 20 years later will look like this. If we want to compare the two, you can see 7 years ago, America is okay, United States of America. And in 20 years, it will be under the red color also. So it expand the area under water stress, greatly expand, like Australia, if we go back to this. So this area will expand to all over the world. So overall, human activities influence on the hydrologic cycle. One is climate change. Right? Climate change, climate change, climate change. The California wildfires are not caused by the nature. The nature gave wildfires for a reason. And the massive wildfires we see now in California, that is due to climate change and extreme weather, like extremely high temperatures, long periods with no rain. That is artificial effects that's caused by humans. And it's caused by increased urbanization and tourism. And human activity also significantly impacted evaporation, runoff, and infiltration. After we remove all the vegetation, we suffer more loss of water. And in the Annenberg video you're going to watch, it's very interesting. Scientists talk about transpiration of the trees from the river, right? 90 gallons per day per tree. That's a lot. So if you remove those trees, the evaporation rate could be much higher. Overdrawing water from rivers and groundwater, overdrafting water, overuse, not allowing nature to replenish, overtaxed storm water systems of cities, impervious surface like Houston, right? In the flooding areas like this, we need more natural soil. But due to the development, we seal the surface with concrete. And that makes the flooding even worse. And mixing of the storm water with the water will spread contamination. So, as humans all around the world, we use water in 3 ways. One is for agriculture. That's about 70% of the total water use, and that's the heaviest use of among all applications. And this is not my focus, but I just want to mention really quickly. The pollution of the water resulted from agriculture is the fertilizers, excessive nutrients. We use ridiculous amount of fertilizers, and they cannot be used up by the plants, crops, and the soil, and they run off to the ocean, to the rivers and the ponds, and cause serious problems. And you will see this in another Annenberg video. And industrial water use, the challenge of the pollution is the chemicals. And to get rid of the chemicals in this country, we go Clear Water Act, thanks to that environmental law. And 90% of the industrial water use is for cooling. So the heat contamination is a huge problem. They release the warm water into the nature without letting it cool down. That will change the entire ecosystem. Some of the fish even increase half to 1 degree in temperature, they will not reproduce. So to get rid of the heat is a big challenge. Now I concentrate on the domestic water use because that's something we interact with almost in our daily lives. And if you look at the pie here, this is how we use water. Actually, the drinking and the cooking are a very small portion. See that? And the lawns and toilets, those are the major players. If we want to conserve water, we need to cut off the water use in these 2 areas dramatically. And the rest of it is for bathing and cleaning. So this is a comparison of municipal water prices and use in selected countries. The yellow bar is the water price, and the brown bar is water use. You can see the more expensive the water is used is lower. And the cheaper the water is, much higher use of the water. So to intervene with overuse of water, wasting, right? The government can intervene by raising the water price. That will effectively control the water consumption. And the public attitude is we have limitless water to use. So because the price is not expensive, and that's why people do not care about conservation. So again, the government can interfere with that in this way. And to mention again, in North America, we are going to expect a water crisis very near in the future. And this is one example how government regulate the water price. It's like they give a family that much of water share to use per month. If you go over, it will be like 4 times more expensive. So that is one of the strategies to control the water consumption. And the way to save water in this country, the EPA is doing a wonderful job and started this STAR program. And if you go to buy appliances like washers and the dryers, they will have those special label. And those products are very water efficient. That is wonderful. They weigh the weight of the clothes and they disperse just the necessary amount of water that decrease the energy use and that decrease the water use. So when I replace my old water washer and the dryer, I just buy those Energy Star products and they work just fabulously. The last thing but not least thing is the leaking water pipes. That means leaking water pipes and the mains account for a significant loss of water. And in developed country, it counts as high as 20%, and in developing countries, that count over 50%. So the water leaking is a no-no. If you see any water leaking in the area you live, right, in your own home, please call somebody to have that repaired ASAP.